It sounds like you all were having a lot of sex.
We had sex at the hospital that same night and would have sex every day on the regular. So, of course, it wasn't that hard for me to conceive.
It was just too much at the time.
What do you mean too much?
This lie is too much. We got to the building.
Listen.
All these two knew how to do was blame each other. Ms. Sales appeared in court to prove to the defendant, Mr. Jackson, that he was the father of the child. She claimed that it was his idea to have a baby, and the moment the baby was born, he disappeared. This was how Ms. Sales opened her case.
I opened my case today because I was with D'Amico for 5 years. We were in a relationship. We had our baby, and now because he sits up and talks to his family, now he feels like that is not his child. Since the day my daughter was born, because she was light-skinned with gray eyes, that was not his child because I'm too dark to have a light-skinned baby.
A side cheek for 5 years? Now, that's definitely going to hurt Ms. Sales's feelings. But her heart was about to be crushed even further. After Mr. Jackson told the entire courtroom she was his side cheek, he went on to say he stayed with her because they had great sex.
How was we not in a relationship?
It was more of, you know, she had great sex.
Oh, I put it on him and he could never leave.
I mean, it happens like that, you know, Jan, it happens like that, you know. It was just...
So you're saying you were only with her for a sexual relationship?
She was my side woman.
So did you make that clear, or were you making her feel like she was your real woman, but really you were just having a side woman?
She was just my side woman.
Mr. Jackson needs to put a leash on his mouth. But could there be some truth to what he is saying? It was only right that Judge Lauren asked Ms. Sales to give her own side of the story. Mr. Jackson had been running his mouth for a while, and when Ms. Sales took the floor, this was what she had to say.
When I first met him, I had moved out of town, so we had, you know, lost contact. That's when he met his ex and they got in a relationship. When I moved back in town, he never let me know about this relationship he had. I found out because a friend of mine told me that he had a girl. He never said anything to me about it. And by the time he actually started trying to confess that he had a girlfriend.
Wow. Let's just say Mr. Jackson was enjoying the company of both Ms. Sales and his girlfriend at the time. The man wasn't ready to let any of the women go. Though he called her his side piece, he was present at the doctor's appointment when they found out she was pregnant.
In my stomach, so I had to go to the hospital because I was very sick. He went with me, but he was my side piece, right? But he took me and went with me to the hospital. So I was getting a lot of tests ran and things done to me. They was telling me no, I wasn't pregnant at the time because I had polyps. So the nurse explained that it was really hard for me to get pregnant and my chances was very slim, but at the time I had already gotten off of birth control and was trying to have a baby with him.
Well, there was a lot of sex going on with these two, that's for sure. I mean, how do you have sex at the hospital? Jeez. Anyway, with all the sex that they were having, Judge Lauren decided to ask Mr. Jackson why he felt he could not be a potential father to the baby, and this was his response.
Yana, one day I was on my family member house doing some work with him, and a friend of us called and said that they seen her in a car with some light-skinned guy with dreads, and say this who she been seeing, it's a possibility could be her baby daddy or anything like that. This was told to me.
That's a lie.
Yes, and a lot of people in the car and told me that she was riding around with this cat.
Oh, people have seen her in the car riding around with this guy.
Yes, Your Honor. True story.
So,
Mr. Jackson's ex-girlfriend must really want him back to keep spreading those lies, if they are actually lying anyway. But that was not all. Mr. Jackson also told the judge that he went through her phone and saw some very funny text messages from a guy she was texting.
What did the messages say?
It was more like, you know, I guess, you know, he already had a baby or something like that. I guess she was trying to come clean about she supposed to be pregnant. It could be a possibility, mine's or his.
Oh, so you saw an exchange of messages?
Yes, ma'am.
Talking about the pregnancy and the paternity?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you saw that, did you confront her?
I confronted her, but you know, just like any other woman, they gonna lie and deny it.
In a way, that makes a lot of sense. Let's just say this is one of those situations where a guy is going to say anything so he does not end up as the father of the child. Mr. Jackson had a witness by his side. As you would expect, it was a family member, and this is what she had to say.
D'Amico called me crying one night because he said Ashley admitted to him that she had slept with a light-skinned dude with dreads, and there's a possibility that Micaiah might not be his.
And what did you tell your brother, Miss Jackson?
I just told him to take a DNA test, which he said he tried to take one.
Ashley had, you know, faked the fallout, started crying, things like that, so we had to leave.
I drove up there. It was my car.
We had to leave, so.
At this point, I might actually have to side with Ms. Sales because his liars are starting to go through the roof. Anyway, the results are in. It's time we brought out the truth from both Ms. Sales and Mr. Jackson. This was the judge's verdict.
Mr. Jackson, you are the father.
Now I know who my baby daddy is.
Miss Sales, you don't have to do that. I don't run no circus, and I don't need no clowns.
I understand.
We're talking about a baby. She should know who you are.
She know who I am.
She don't need no side daddy. She needs the daddy that is going to be protecting her.
With the look on this guy's face, you could tell he was in court for some serious business. Mr. Harvey, the angry-looking guy, was upset because he claimed that the defendant, Ms. Jett, fooled him into buying baby supplies for a baby that he believes is not his. With so much anger in his heart, he opened his case like this.
Mr. Harvey, you are asking the court to award you $496.52 for baby supplies you say the defendant, Ms. Jett, demanded for a child you adamantly deny is yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Jett, in response to Mr. Harvey's suit, you have petitioned the court for the results of a paternity test.
Yes, Your Honor.
He is your daughter's biological father and say it's time he steps up.
As I initially said, Mr. Harvey is beyond furious. But who gets pregnant after just 2 weeks of having sex? That does seem shady. When Mr. Harvey initially found out she was pregnant, as you would expect, he was pretty excited, being that he thought the child was his.
I was happy.
Because you thought it was your child.
Yes. After she found out she was pregnant, we stopped talking. She moved back to Orlando. She wrote.
Why'd you stop talking?
Because he was so sexually active with other women. He was cheating on me.
Okay, so there was a breakdown in the relationship,
Yes, he was-
and then it ended.
Yes.
So at some point you were living apart.
Yes.
To be honest, it's quite difficult to believe that these two were ever in a relationship. They can't seem to make a statement without yelling at each other. Ms. Jett told the judge that she had told Mr. Harvey to get things for the baby, but he didn't. Well, he had evidence to prove otherwise.
You need to make sure you bring me all of these things. 1, diapers, 2, baby wipes, 3, pacifiers, 4, bottles, and she need all this stuff before April. Bye.
Yes, I said that.
And this is all before the baby's born.
Yes, but
then you responded back,
Okay.
okay.
Wow, she made such a long list and ended the text with bye? Tell me if this doesn't fit the shoes of a gold digger. Mr. Harvey deciding to buy all that stuff meant some part of him felt the child was his. How then did he get to this stage of having doubts? Well, here is your answer.
Okay, when I first met Sade, she got pregnant fast, and then we stopped talking. After she had the baby, she had told me the whole time she was pregnant, she was in a relationship.
Your Honor, I
And
didn't
she said she was in a sexual relationship.
Your Honor,
That's
Your Honor,
one.
Your
And
Honor.
another thing is she had the baby
I didn't
and
start-
tagged the dude name in the picture when the baby was
Your
first
Honor.
born. I got evidence for
Honor.
that.
Oh, the walls are closing in on Ms. Jett now. Who on earth does that? What's even more crazy about this situation is the fact that Mr. Harvey is not just accusing her of these things. He actually has facts to back up his accusations. Well, here's some of the evidence he said he had.
Why would you tag
I
another
didn't-
man's
Your Honor,
name on your
Honor,
baby's
I did
photo?
not tag
She
anybody
claimed that
in
the dude
picture.
out of nowhere tagged himself
He tagged
in it.
himself
And
in
she
the
doesn't know who he
picture
is.
by himself, and I
And
never
you
met
kept it.
him at all. And I actually have proof that I actually wrote the dude and I said, hey, my daughter dad thinks that you're her father because you tagged yourself in the picture. And he said, oh, I'm sorry.
Enough with the lies already, Ms. Jett. How's it possible that she has no idea about the posts on her Facebook? In trying to cover her ass and defend herself, she brought her own exhibit where she tried to explain all the things she did for her baby without Mr. Harvey.
Here's all the expenses that I've been taking care for of my daughter alone. He's suing me for $500. Her diapers is a little less than what he's suing me for. And plus her feeding is double that.
I'm suing you for what I got a receipt for.
Okay, but her diapers are close to what you're suing me for. Her diapers is dang near that money, $500.
Every time you needed diapers, you called me and I gave it to
never
you.
gave me-
Whenever you needed
You never
something,
gave
every
me
time she called me, I gave it to her, Your Honor.
You have to hand it to Mr. Harvey. He came prepared to fight Ms. Jett in this case. Now, Mr. Harvey told the judge that there was a time he went through Ms. Jett's phone, and the things he saw left him beyond speechless.
And then she had started going through my phone. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go through your phone too. So I go through her phone, right? She
Your
telling this
Honor.
dude, she said, you need to pay for this abortion.
No, I didn't.
And the whole time she was never pregnant. She
No,
told me
I
she was pregnant for me, and then she telling some other dude he need to pay for abortion.
Your Honor.
So, Miss Jett, is this true?
No, he's lying.
Oh, now I'm lying.
So, Miss Jett, is it your contention that you were not intimate?
As if all the evidence Mr. Harvey had displayed was not enough, he brought his aunt to the courtroom to give her side of the story. Believe me when I tell you, she had quite a lot to say about the whole situation. She began like this.
All I know is that when she had the baby, looking at my nephew's other children, we have strong genes. And all his brothers look alike, his brother's kids look alike.
And I have
They have the same heads. And our family have big eyes. The baby that was in with me, Xavier,
Looks
or
like
in Xavier's
me.
family.
She looks
All
like
his children look just alike from different moms. Everybody looks like the Harveys or the Highsmith. Baby has no genes of us at all. Head shape
Looks
or
like
anything.
me, I have strong genes.
Well, that's my opinion.
Well, at least we know that Mr. Harvey is not the only one who thinks the baby is not his. Ms. Jett, on the other hand, also had a witness. Instead of an aunt, she came to the courtroom with her mom.
No, he hadn't met me, but you called me and told me my daughter is pregnant and how I shouldn't worry about you leaving.
I did not know Miss Kim until after the baby was born.
No, you didn't know
I
me.
didn't know her.
Oh, you called me. Don't sit up there and lie. You did call me.
I did not know her until after the baby was born.
Ms. Jett's mother sure doesn't like Mr. Harvey. Anyway, I think we have had enough of their shenanigans in the courtroom. Hopefully, the DNA test results will reveal the truth. When the results came in, this was the judge's verdict.
Mr. Harvey, you are not her father.
It's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Because I was in a relationship before I met him. I was in a relationship previous.
Oh, now you're in a relationship?
Before I met you, yes. But I was never pregnant.
Miss Jett, you so diplomatic now.
Because, no, listen, Your Honor, listen.
I just witnessed probably about 30 minutes of you taking this young man.
In this situation, Ms. Currington claimed that the defendant, Mr. Larson, a man who happens to be 20 years older than her, begged her to have a child with him. The moment she gave birth, Mr. Larson wanted nothing to do with the child anymore. She was in court to prove that the child was his, and she began like this.
It makes me feel pissed off because we planned this baby.
You planned the baby?
Yes, we did.
What was said?
He wanted to have a baby by me, and that was that. And we kept trying and trying and trying.
And now that the baby's here, he denies the baby.
Yes, because I'm in another relationship.
Mr. Kim Larson, you deny this baby. You say this baby's not yours.
Yes, Honor. I can explain that to you. She's a player. She's unpredictable.
Mr. Larson seemed very surprised when she said they planned to have a child together, but who's telling the truth between the two of them? Now, while they were both arguing about who was telling the truth and who was lying, Mr. Larson's daughter took the floor and said this.
I know these types of women. They prey on men like this, like kind-hearted, very openly, and she took advantage of my dad. We don't even know if it's, if that's my dad's baby because she be messing around in the streets. So how are we supposed to know for sure if that's my dad's baby or not? So that's why we here.
I smell a gold-digging scheme coming up. Anyway, Judge Lauren decided to ask Ms. Currington how she ended up with someone who happened to be 25 years older than her. Well, this is how she explained the situation.
With a man that's almost 25 years older than you.
I met Ian at the hotel. He came in, he approached me and asked me if I seen his girlfriend at that time. And I said no, but I would help you look for her. So we walked in the hallways and knocked on every door, okay?
What made you want to help him look for his girlfriend?
Because I was being nice at the time.
What did I say? A gold-digging scheme. It looks like what attracted Ms. Currington to Mr. Larson was his wealth. Now, Mr. Larson believed they had a beautiful relationship, but deep down, he had no idea Ms. Currington was after his money.
I decided to follow along, see how far she go with this.
Oh, you're saying you actually started to really fall in love, like thought you were having a real relationship.
Yeah, we got connected. I met her at the hotel. She approached me, and we just clicked. We developed a relationship, and she...
You approached me about your girlfriend at that time.
Oh, yeah, I forgot, Honor. But anyway.
You forgot that girlfriend already?
Aha! So Ms. Currington was looking for a sugar daddy after all. That certainly makes things very interesting. But here's the catch. Even though he was looking for his girlfriend, he was very attracted to Ms. Currington.
I was attracted to her thickness.
Can't make this up. So that was true. She's not lying.
No.
So you said, Mr. Kim Larson, you told Ms. Currington, you say, ooh, you thick.
She moved at my place.
Within 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks, because we bonded.
I moved at his place 2 days later and drove his car after I met him at the hotel. He had me drive his car to his house.
Oh, so the cute car you saw him pull up in, he was letting you drive it?
Yes.
What's surprising about this situation is that Ms. Currington is not denying any of the allegations. She even seemed to be proud of herself for bagging a sugar daddy. Now, after she moved into Mr. Larson's house, things started to change. Let's just say Ms. Currington started
been calling me saying that she had multiple guys in my house. Whoever, I don't know what to believe.
Did you have other men at the house, Ms. Currington?
Yes, I did, but they was my cousin.
They were your cousins?
Yes, Your Honor.
So this were family members?
Yes.
And they were up in Mr. Larson's house?
Yes.
Without my knowledge, Honor.
Without your knowledge?
Yeah.
So at some point you find out you're pregnant?
Yes. I moved to Indiana.
to show her true nature, and Mr. Larson wasn't having any of it. Ms. Currington then then went on to drop a truth bomb in the courtroom. She told the judge that while she was messing around with Mr. Larson, she had a one-night stand.
I just had a one-night stand.
She lied. Last time I checked, she was dating some old man. I don't know. He looked 40 to 50.
And I am still
years old.
But
like,
your dad is 40 to 50.
yeah, but he older. I think.
And he's not mature either. I'm more mature than him.
What do you mean?
You call that mature?
So hold on, Miss Currington, you say there was a one-night stand.
Wow. It's even very difficult to point fingers in this situation because they are both guilty. While trying to explain the messy situation to the judge, Mr. Larson told her that, right from the beginning, he always had doubts about the baby, and this was why.
Because of the one-night stand, did you doubt that you could be Keora's biological father?
Yeah, I always had doubts during pregnancy.
Did you show up for the birth?
Yes, he
Honor.
did.
Did you cut the umbilical cord?
Yes,
Yes,
Honor.
we did.
Between that time when she was pregnant, she was with this guy pretty much through the whole term.
And I'm still is.
Yeah,
Getting
she
married
still
too,
is.
September 1st.
I am so done with these guys. The only way out of this mess is to reveal the results of the DNA test. Well, let's see if Ms. Currington is actually trying to pin the baby on Mr. Larson.
Mr. Kim Larson, you are the father.
Dad. No. You already knew that.
That makes you emotional to hear, Mr. Kim Larson?
Yes, Honor.
And why is that?
I don't know how to explain.
You're happy that she's your little girl, or you're just happy you know the truth? What are you feeling?
I know the truth, Honor.
What is it you feel when you look at her?
I want to see her every day.
I hope you guys are ready, because this is a case like no other. Ms. Kingsbury was present in court to prove to the defendant, Mr. James, that he is the biological father of her child. Mr. James, on the other hand, claimed he could prove that the child was not his, and why he was not going to accept the baby. The case began like this.
Miss Kingsbury, you say you were in a romantic relationship with the defendant, Mr. James, and planned to have a child together, but when your 11-month-old son, Chance, was born, you are here to prove Mr. James is the biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. James, you say you had stopped. You say you can prove this is not your child with undeniable medical evidence. Is this correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Like I said, she wasn't happy that he was denying both her and the child. Now, Mr. James told the judge that they initially agreed to have a child, but their relationship, which began as a friendship, took an unexpected turn when they decided to have a child together.
You were a couple.
Staying with him.
In love, or you just staying with him, or you living
We were
with him?
in love with each other.
You were?
Yes, we were.
No.
What is your opinion of the relationship?
My opinion, Your Honor, is at first, yes, we did plan to have a baby. In relationship, it was fun, adventurous. I think I could count on her. She was supportive. That was the nature of a relationship at first.
That sounds like a lie right there. There's something fishy about the story. Mr. James is trying to sell to the judge. Moving on, Ms. Kingsbury went on to make a revelation, saying there was a time in her relationship when she lied to Mr. James and things started to change.
Tell him who took me. I
Man,
I told him that it was my sister who took me,
She lied.
but it was a customer of mine. I asked him if he can give me a ride to work. I did what I had to do to get to work. I didn't have a way. I had to take my daughter all the way to the other side of town to her godmother, and I had to get to work. I paid the young man gas money. And another thing, when I was going to get my nails done, the young man was on his way to my house to get his money.
Let's just say Mr. James isn't so much of a forgiving man. Now, he went on to tell the judge that after she lied to him about the work ride, he started to hear rumors claiming that Ms. Kingsbury had entered not just one ride, but several rides when he was not around.
Yes, I heard rumors. My friends that stay in the neighborhood, they used to tell me that she used to get out cars with her, wherever men's these are, I don't know, her co-workers or like what she just explained her.
That's
her
hearsay.
customers.
He say, she say.
No.
He ain't never witnessed me get out of no car with nobody. Excuse me, the time that we were together, me and him spent all of our time together. You ain't never seen me get out of no car with no man.
At least she admitted to lying and told him about it. What more does he want? Or could there be more lies? Anyway, Mr. James went on to explain to the judge that he felt that due to the lie, he could no longer trust Ms. Kingsbury, and there was a high chance she was cheating on him.
Can lead to somebody cheating, and also if you lie, that can also lead to different like session or whatever, different sequence of your life that you can do those type of things.
So now, Ms. Kingsbury, he's saying that now you've started a pattern of lying. Is that true?
No, I told him one lie. I was at work. I was like, well, Kitty, I'm about to buy a pregnancy test. And he was like, well, let me know when you take it. I took the pregnancy test about 7:30 that evening.
I'm asleep. I'll call you back. I can't believe he said that to his pregnant girlfriend. This is where the situation gets very intense. Apparently, after Ms. Kingsbury told Mr. James that she was pregnant, she discovered that he had gotten someone else pregnant. This was what he had to say when the judge asked him.
At the time Miss Kingsbury was pregnant, you had someone else pregnant as well?
Well, yeah, you can say that.
So you wasn't sleeping too much?
I was sleeping.
No,
I still was sleeping. But I wasn't talking to her at that time either, though.
Yes, he was.
At the
he
point-
moved on after Thanksgiving when he was driving down the street in his car and yelled out the window, "That's why I got someone else pregnant."
Yeah.
Damn! Mr. James needs some ass whopping for saying that. When the baby was born, even after saying he got someone else pregnant, Mr. James was present at the hospital and even went on to sign the birth certificate.
Did you participate in the birth?
Yes.
You did?
Yes, I write down he was born.
He was.
But not her C-section, but when he was there, I was holding him. I seen him pee-pee.
He signed the birth certificate. He signed the birth certificate and everything. He did.
Because I thought that's the right thing to do. Even though I had my doubts, as a person, I believe in God, whatever like that. I believe as a man,
The doubt
take
is
responsibility.
At what point do you really have real doubt?
Mr. James might have a point though, but how sure is he that he doesn't have the sickle cell trait? The judge was not going to take any chances, so she brought in an expert who knew about the sickle cell trait. And this was the explanation she gave.
How is the sickle cell gene passed to a child from a parent?
Okay, the genes for sickle cell disease are very simple. You get a gene for hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the red stuff in the red blood cell, and that's sickle cell disease is a problem with hemoglobin. So you get a gene for hemoglobin on the sperm from the father, and you get a gene for hemoglobin from the egg on the mother, okay?
Well, since both of them refused to agree on who had the sickle cell trait, the judge decided to reveal the DNA results and find out who the father of the child actually was. This was the verdict she gave.
Mr. James,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are the father. That's your beautiful little boy. How do you feel? It feels good to know for sure?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have to apologize.